Hello there, you amazing viewers and subscribers, and welcome to a brand new Doctor Who top 5 story list. So for this top 5, I'm going to be talking about my least favourite Doctor, Mr. David Tennant. I'm sorry to say that, but people go, oh, Tennant's the best Doctor. No, he isn't. For me, he doesn't feel much like a Doctor. He is the Doctor. Don't get me wrong, he's got certain Doctor moments, but not in all of them. I mean, it feels more human a lot in Series 2 and a little bit of Series 3. And the way he treats Martha, a bit of the rebound. Yeah, that's not really good for the Doctor. I mean, I don't really care for all the lovey-dovey stuff, but the way he treats Martha at the beginning of Series 3, it's very, very appalling. Very, very appalling. And admittedly, it doesn't feel right to throw the Doctor into, like, lovey-dovey storylines. And I know people go, oh, it's the modern era Doctor Who. Lovey-dovey stuff will always make an appearance, yes, but for me, it's why I really prefer Classic Who. Classic Who, for me, is generally the best part of Doctor Who's history. All of Classic Who, from 1963 to 1989, is definitely the best part of Doctor Who, where some, for modern era of Doctor Who, yeah, there's some stuff like yeah, okay, I kind of enjoyed that, like the Matt Smith era, or I absolutely love the Peter Capaldi era. Peter Capaldi is, of course, my favourite modern Doctor, followed by Matt Smith and Christopher Eccleston. But for me to say, out of all the Doctors, Tennant is, of course, my least favourite. He doesn't feel much like the Doctorism. Not as much as other Doctors. Yes, he is the Doctor, but he isn't the Doctor. If I was going to say who is definitely the most article of the Doctors, it's Tom Baker. This legend here. This absolutely legend here is definitely the Doctor, the genuine article, we might say. Even though William Hartnell is definitely the original Doctor, but I actually prefer Tom Baker's Doctor to all of the Doctors. And for me to say, oh, Tennant's my least favourite, it's nothing to do nitpicky and stuff. It's just I really don't really connect much with this era like I used to. When I was growing up and it was his era on the TV, yeah, you know, I used to connect a lot to that. But since growing up and coming out of that era and coming into, you know, the Matt Smith era or the Peter Capaldi era and going back and watching more classic Doctor Who, the Tennant era for me is it's not as good as I used to think it used to be. Because I used to be a good Tennant fan back in the early, like, 2006 on to 2010. I used to be a big Tennant fan. And then Matt Smith came as the Doctor, and I literally shipped with the bandwagon. Matt Smith became a good Doctor. He actually took over David Tennant for me, and then my best friend Jamie Alsif was like, I still like Tennant, oh no, I still like Tennant. But now he's literally going back and rewatching Matt Smith, and he's like, yeah, actually, Matt Smith is actually a good Doctor. So, talking about my top 5 stories from David Tennant's incarnation of the Doctor. So, some of these stories, I'm not going to talk about the whole, like, lovey-dovey stuff, because I really don't like the lovey-dovey stuff between Ten and Rose. But I'm going to say this. Number 5. Now, this one has really grown on me since I first watched this back in 2007. It is, of course, Voyager the Damned. This one, for me, growing up, I never really enjoyed it as a lot. But since, well, literally the last couple of times over the Christmas period, since 2021 and 2020, and I was rewatching all of the Christmas episodes because we've got no Christmas specials in the Jodie era, so I've been going back and revisiting all of the Christmas specials. This one's really grown on me a lot. Now, for me to say why this one's really grown on me, I love the Half. I really think the Half are really great. The guest cast is absolutely brilliant. Kylie Minogue. Again, this story does have a lot of lovey-dovey stuff between the Doctor and, of course, Kylie Minogue's character, and I'm like there going, cringiness! Definitely cringiness. But there again, though, you do kind of have that awkward scene where Tennant's literally just like, kind of like kissing her ghost, but then when you watch the confidential stuff, he's kissing thin air. Yeah, you can tell the Doctor's definitely so much lovey-dovey in this incarnation of the Doctor. Definitely more lovey-dovey stuff than other Doctors. So, yeah. But this one I really do enjoy because I do like the guest cast in this. Kylie Minogue is brilliantly as Astrid Peth. I absolutely love their main villain, aka Max Capricorn. I absolutely do enjoy his, like, villainous ways. I think he's absolutely brilliant. And I have to also admit, I also really enjoy the fact that the Titanic is a spaceship from the planet Stone instead of like the Earth Titanic ship that crashed in 1912. I really did enjoy this one. Voyager Dam for me has really come into 5th place. It's really enjoyable, and actually this would have been in 4th place, but I had to put something in my all-time #1 Tennant story. So number 4. Now this one I have to admit, this one is one of my favourite stories from series 4. It's got, I'm sorry to say this, but it is the Stone, Earth and Journey's End, the finale to series 4. So what can I say about this story that I really enjoyed? Well, we got the return of Davros, we got Daleks, and we got even more Daleks. What more do you need? You got Daleks. You got more Daleks, yes. As you can tell, I absolutely genuinely love the Daleks. They're my all-time favourite villains. So for this one, if you were going to throw a story at me, and it's going to be a Dalek story, throw a whole army of Daleks in it, and that's me. That's me won over. I absolutely love the Daleks. The Daleks are amazing. I absolutely love the Daleks. They're literally my all-time favourite Doctor Who villain. And for me to sit here and say, yes, we got the return of Davros, and then, of course, we got, like, to celebrate, like, the whole past of the first era of the Russell T Davies era, we've got Billie Piper back as Rose, and there's a bit of the more lovey-dovey stuff hitting in that bit. We got the return of Martha, who's really grown a lot since giving the Doctor the puppy dog eyes in series 3, and I really prefer series 4's Martha over the series 3 Martha. We've got Donna, we've got the return of Captain Jack Harkness, and he actually does blow up a Dalek. Tennant basically gets shot, and you're kind of thinking, oh, he's going to regenerate. No, he puts all his regeneration into the spare hand to make a human incarnation of this variant of the Doctor. Yeah, this is what I mean about the Doctor becoming human, because he actually does create a human version of himself, and he falls in love with Rose Tyler, and you got the kiss, and then so on and so on and so on. You really think that would have been over until you get to the end of time. But the rest of it's really brilliant. I love the fact we got callbacks like to Sarah Jane meeting Davros in Genesis of the Daleks with Tom Baker. I really love that callback where really Davros realises it's Sarah Jane. He goes, impossible. I recognise that face. Sarah Jane Smith, do you remember? And he goes, that's it. You were there on Skara at the very court of my beginning. I really do enjoy that callback to Genesis of the Daleks. I also love the fact we got Mickey back, we got Jackie back, you know, and the way it all just pans out. And then, of course, you have Sarah Jane's son and Mr. Smith and K9 throw into it from the Sarah Jane Adventures. And then, of course, they even throw in Torchwood. So we've got Gwen Cooper and Yanto Jones. And we've got Torchwood and the Sarah Jane Adventures thrown into this crossover episode. And it's absolutely brilliant. I absolutely love it, which is why it's number 4. Number 3. Now, this one is in Series 3. And I really enjoy this one because it really shows how much character the 10th Doctor has really grown. It is human nature and family blood. So the family blood are chasing after the Doctor because they kind of want the Doctor's lives. They want to live forever. And how to do that? Well, you have to harvest a Time Lord. So they kind of chase the Doctor all through time and space. And the Doctor has to turn himself human by using a chameleon arch into a fob watch to hide his Time Lord consciousness. And the fact is, though, you really think the Doctor wouldn't hide from a villain, but he was actually hiding to be kind. And the fact that after the Doctor's literally done that kind act, like thinking, oh, I'm going to let you die, I'm going to hide away, let you die, and all this, like. But then the Doctor gives them really bad punishments to Family of Blood. I mean, the son of mine becomes a scarecrow, daughter of mine becomes trapped in a mirror, the mother of mine is trapped inside a collapsing star, and the father of mine is trapped in unbreakable chains in a diamond warp star. Really, really, really bad punishments from the Doctor, really. And you do kind of see the fury of the Time Lord when you kind of got the Family of Blood literally on the ground and the spaceships in ruins, and the Doctor just stands over them and he literally just kind of gives you that look that you know, uh-oh, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. And I really do enjoy that version of the 10th Doctor more than the lovey-dovey version of the Doctor. But yeah, okay, the human version of the Doctor, basically John Smith ends up falling in love with a nurse, and they kind of, you know, kind of have a bit of a future together that we see. But then the Doctor comes about and John Smith's dead, and then you kind of got that woman like saying, oh, John Smith's dead, all this, and the Doctor's just saying, I can turn back into him, but will you? No, I'm not going to. And that's the thing, I really do enjoy the way that episode plays out, that 2-parter. And number 2, in second place, this one is my all-time favourite TV story. Or my all-time favourite TV story. It's The Waters of Mars. Honestly, this one, not many people like it. I really enjoyed this one for this, because out of all the specials, this is the one that really stands out to me. The Next Doctor doesn't really stand out a lot. You know, Planet of the Dead, I find that one a bit boring, and especially with the flying bus. And you all know what I absolutely think of the Drivel of the End of Time, because part 1 built so much, and then part 2 falls flat on its face. And the regeneration does actually bunk it up a bit with the old explosion, but it still falls flat on its face. But The Waters of Mars, I absolutely love it, because we've got callbacks to the Ice Warriors. I love the fact this is the point in time the Doctor knows he's got to get out of it. He can't interfere. He's got to let history happen. He's got to let these people die. And he literally is there to say, I've got to go. I've really, really got to go. I've got to go. I've got to go. And then he's there banging his head going, Adelaide! I really do like the way how the Doctor is there, realising he's got to get out of this situation. But he can't help it. He's very doctorish. It's got to be there. He wants to see what's going to happen to this base, what causes base Ferry 1 to blow up, and he's really there. And then of course you've got the water infection of people, and of course the Doctor basically snaps and becomes the Time Lord Victorious, changes history, and really Adelaide Block just goes and kills herself because of what the Doctor's told her. And the Doctor basically just loses his mind, saying, I'm the Time Lord Victorious. I think the Time Lord Victorious is wrong. I really do enjoy the way how the 10th Doctor goes so far in this episode. And then when we get to the end of time, we go to a sort of different incarnation of the Doctor. We go into a laid-back variant of Tennant's Doctor. Why did he just keep on with that Time Lord Victorious bit? You know, you build so much in Waters of Mars, and then the end of time really lets that bit down. It really just let that down. And I really hate what the end of time does to the whole bit of the Time Lord Victorious. Especially when you've got such fantastic ending in the Waters of Mars. And of course, my number one David Tennant story is of course the one where he reunites with Tom Baker. Yes, it is the multi-Doctor story from Big Finish Productions, Out of Time 1. Out of Time 1. Now this one I really enjoy because not only do we have my favourite Doctor in this one, we also got my favourite villain, the Daleks, in this one as well. And for this one, Tennant is really, really good. I have to admit, for Big Finish, he's absolutely really, really good in Big Finish than he is in the TV portrayal. Until you get to the stuff with Billy Piper. And that's really put me off listening to Tennant's audio adventures with Billy Piper, because the lovey-dovey stuff is still there. But then you listen to the stuff with Donna, it's absolutely amazing. It feels like you were listening to Series 4 once again. And I have to admit, I really did actually enjoy this story for Out of Time 1. I do enjoy Out of Time 2 and Out of Time 3, but this is my all-time favourite story out of that trilogy because it's the return of Tom Baker. This is my favourite multi-Doctor story from the Tennant era, technically, because saying that is because the Out of Time trilogy is actually set somewhere in the specials side of the 10th Doctor's timeline. So really I do actually class this part of the 10th Doctor's timeline. But I absolutely love the fact we've got the 10th Doctor and the 4th Doctor. The 10th Doctor's trying to hide away that he's actually a future incarnation of the 4th Doctor. But you know what Tom Baker's like. His Doctor clicks straight away going, you're a future version of me, aren't you? Yes. Yes, I'm a future version of you. And I also love the fact we kind of have the 1970s Daleks and the 2000 Daleks kind of emerging into one brilliant Dalek faction, and to go around and exterminate everybody in this cathedral where you got these two Doctors meeting. It's just absolutely superb, honestly, absolutely superb. And for the 4th Doctor's timeline, this takes place somewhere in between The Deadly Assassin and The Face of Evil. So definitely somewhere in between season 14 for the 4th Doctor's timeline. I just absolutely love this story. Out of Time 1 is just superb. It's brilliant. And the fact is, though, I've actually listened to this one 21 times since I got this back in March. And what are we, October? And I've listened to this 21 times because it's honestly a cracking audio adventure. I absolutely love the fact we got Tom Baker in this. You know, throw something at me that's got Tom Baker in it, you guarantee I'm going to love it. If it's either, say, a really bad story like The Leisure Hive, Tom Baker's good in it, but you can tell, yeah, that's the only good thing about Leisure Hive for me. I really do like Tom Baker, and even though that's his weak story, I'm like, yeah, it's a Tom Baker story. I'm still going to watch it. But for me to actually say why I really enjoy this audio is because Tennant gives such a great performance with Tom Baker. The way that the 4th and 10th Doctors really do, like, bounce off each other and give you that, like, kind of brilliant vibe in between these two Doctors. And Nicholas Briggs is just brilliantly as the Daleks. I honestly love it. I would actually love to have an Out of Time 4 with the 10th Doctor meeting the 7th Doctor. And then, of course, Out of Time 5, I would love to have this, like, I would love to have 4 and 5 where the 10th Doctor really meets the 7th Doctor and, of course, the 8th Doctor. I really think that would be more brilliant, is that having, like, just for, like, three audios with the 4th, 5th and 6th Doctors. I would like to see him encounter his 7th persona and his 8th persona. I really would love to listen to that. Big Finish, if you're watching this, please make Out of Time 4 and 5 when the 10th Doctor meeting the 7th Doctor and, of course, the 8th Doctor. I just love multi-Doctor stories so much. I really love multi-Doctor stories. I don't care if they're in the TV universe. I don't really care if they're in Big Finish. And I really don't care for the comics. The comics are amazing. I absolutely love the one with the 13th Doctor actually coming across the 10th Doctor with the Sea Devils. Honestly, I just have to admit, that's just an absolutely brilliant doozy of a story. I really do like multi-Doctor stories. And I have to admit, the Titan comics for the 13th Doctor, because I've read quite a few now, they're a lot better than some of the episodes from series 11, 12 and 13. And that's actually saying something. The comics are a lot better than the TV episodes for the 13th Doctor. But I really do enjoy Out of Time 1. Out of Time 1 is just, it's literally took over my all-time favourite Tennant story. I don't know if it's because it's got Daleks in it. Actually, I think it's because it's got Tom Baker in it. I think that's why it's took over #1. But it's absolutely brilliant. I absolutely love it. So let me know, what is your top 5 David Tennant stories? Do you agree with my list? What do you think of Out of Time 1? If you listen to it, please do like, subscribe and share, and join me for more awesome Doctor Who content. Have a cracking day, and join me tomorrow where I will carry on down with my ranking every single season and series of Doctor Who. And tomorrow it's on the 26th place, which we'll find out what that is in tomorrow. So thank you for watching, and have a cracking day, and join me tomorrow for ranking the next episode of Doctor Who series.